Hey, this is Deepak here. And today, in this conversation with Jayant, we are going to talk about how to become an alpha in your industry and what does it mean to be the alpha. So, Jayant, let's get started.
Absolutely. So yeah, Deepak, let's just start with that. What does it mean to be an alpha?
So, whenever you are selling a product or a service, if you are the alpha in your market, customers want you more than you want the customers, which means that you are not in a position to hunt for new customers like most businesses are. And these businesses have not built their branding and their entire perception in such a way that people are actually queuing up to get their product and service. So that's what we are going to talk about today. And this is what I have experienced by building the brand Digital Deepak, where I always have customers queuing up to join my program rather than me having to hunt for customers. So, how can anyone do it is what we are going to discuss in this podcast.
Talking about alpha, like we see this Apple fanboys lining up for Apple launch, and I think they do it very subtly, where like they will be like launching a very limited range first, so that like they'll like sell out in minutes and they'll like raise their prices. Yeah. That's the easiest thing that they do.
Whenever you are getting sold out, that's when you can start making a profit because you can automatically increase the price of your products and services when there is more demand than supply. And pretty much everything in the world, including gold, real estate, stocks, or even Bitcoin, the price is always driven by demand supply equation. So, can you do it for your own products and services? Is what we need to do.
So Deepak, tell me more about how Digital Deepak happened. You build this brand and people are queuing up, and like we are at a position where we don't have to run ads. We didn't run ads at the time of this recording since last 6 months, yet we made almost a crore, 2 crores in revenue. So what was your story? How did that happen?
So my goal was always to build my own distribution. My entire digital marketing experience started with starting my motorcycle blog, which is Bike Advice. I started this in 2008. By 2011, it was already getting 1 million page views a month. But I eventually sold the blog in 2012. Had a lot of experiences like going to China, getting invited as a journalist and everything. It was a lot of fun, and motorcycles is still my passion. At some point, I might restart this. But I sold the blog because there was nothing that I could sell to my audience directly. And I wanted to explore more. So I sold the blog for $25,000 at that time. Back then. Huh. And I came to Bangalore and I ended up learning digital marketing because I wanted to grow my blog. So
what triggered you there? Like, okay, isko chhodte hain, let's just start building this.
Sometimes destroying what you have built is creative destruction. It creates space for learning something new. Because I was at Salem, I did not have enough world exposure. So I came to Bangalore for an event, and by that time, the digital marketing term itself was not like well known, and nobody had adopted digital marketing yet. But I knew SEO, email marketing, social media, and all this I ended up learning just to grow my Bike Advice blog. So a lot of companies found that very interesting. The first company was Theorem. It was a digital marketing agency with more than 1,000 employees. And then I joined Exotel, which was my first startup. I joined Practo, Instamojo, Zivame, Razorpay. And in all these companies, my role title was Digital Marketing Manager. So I ended up learning so much digital marketing by spending their marketing budget and experimenting with a lot of high level stuff. And that is how the journey progressed from 2013 to 2016. And 2013, I started digitaldeepak.com. Yeah. And until 2015, I did not start building an email list. But just having a blog and writing on the blog made me such a prospective employee because companies who are trying to hire a digital marketer, they would look at my blog, look at my articles and find it very valuable. And I kind of like was prioritized among all the other applicants. And that's what I tell nowadays. If somebody wants to get a job, start a blog and start writing. And then Digital Deepak as a blog, as I started building my email list in 2015, that led to starting my courses business and my agency in 2017. So yeah, we were just working out of a small 1 BHK apartment in Koramangala. Now we got this bigger office now.
I know. And I know for a fact that Deepak did something like extremely crazy back then. I mean, we are doing well. We are doing about 10 lakhs a month in revenue, but the agency was just not growing. Yeah. And we are selling courses. And during that time, what Deepak did is he made like the entire course free. Le lo. And we were like, "Arey kya pagal ho gaya Deepak." But what made you do that? Like, why did you launch that free digital marketing course, which like grew your email list? Like, what really was?
One thing that I understood long back is that before people pay you money, they have to pay you attention. A lot of people think that they have a product and service, they will go out to the market. People either buy or don't buy. It's not like that. People are just checking you out and they need to build trust with you before they buy a coaching, consulting service or anything like that. If you are buying something like a commodity product, like a chocolate bar or something like that, then you can just go to a store and just buy it. A lot of e-commerce stores are just selling commodities. They drive traffic to their sales page directly and expect some conversions out of it. But when it comes to selling coaching, consulting services, and you are transforming people, you need to do a lot of customer education. So I felt that if I start a free digital marketing course, at that time digital marketing courses were selling for 50,000 to 1 lakh. And I put all the content that I knew, 5 years of work experience, whatever I learned in digital marketing, I put it as a free course on learndigitalmarketing.com. And till date, this particular lead magnet has generated 2 million leads so far. And what this made is that people got nurtured, people built trust with me, and then it became extremely easy to sell whatever products and services that I created later. So till today, so now we are focusing on Alpha Club, and pretty much all the Alpha Club customers have opted into that particular lead magnet long back. And from that's where all these high ticket customers are also coming from. This is something that people are not taking seriously, that you can build a personal brand just with putting out content on an email sequence and constantly nurturing these people and basically warming up the leads so that you build so much trust with the leads that selling a high ticket program, which can be anywhere 2 lakhs or above, is not going to be a lot of effort because these people trust you already.
Trust you already, yeah. And this is exactly what we teach inside Alpha Club. So let's look at some case studies and see some client results.
Getting a lot of client results recently of people following the same system and scaling up their business. So let's have a look at some of them.
I think one of my favorite is Nitish himself, because I remember his objection in the sales call. You and I are there. Sir, email marketing kaam karta hai. And now what she is doing. So Nitish was stuck at like 1.5 lakhs a month and he was just not growing his business. And the biggest problem was, one, he was charging way too low. And the second was his YouTube traffic was declining. He was starting his YouTube back then. So what we did was we doubled down on generating leads from YouTube and started running some ads to a lead magnet. And lawyers, since they cannot directly ask for an appointment, so what we do is like whatever questions these people would ask, we just put it in an email sequence. And very subtly, we'll just put a phone number in the bottom and people will just start calling back. That's how like he tremendously increased the number of leads. And because all the questions have been answered, his customers would tell him ki, "Arey, all these questions, lawyers should take money to answer us, you give it for free." So that insane amount of trust is what got him from 1.5 lakhs to 6 lakhs.
Yeah, so since he built his demand using his personal branding technique of building email list and basically building his funnel, he was able to increase his prices also. So if you can increase demand, then you can increase your prices. A lot of people say that, hey, increase your prices. But most of the coaches, consultants and service providers are afraid of increasing the prices because they think that if I increase the prices, then I won't get enough customers. Exactly. But if you have enough demand and if you have consciously gone ahead and built that demand using the techniques that we teach, then you can naturally increase the prices, right?
Absolutely. Second is obviously Dr. Tanima. I remember the conversation when she asked, when you asked him what would be your goal, and she was like, "Arey, 50,000 per month, if I make it, it's like more than enough." Now look at it, like 2 years almost, she reached 7 lakhs a month in revenue. That's about almost a crore, I think.
She hit 7.25 lakhs in revenue, which is like absolutely mind blowing for someone who just got started with our digital marketing techniques and eventually scaled up their business. And it's a very, very niche area that she is operating in. She is a lactation consultant.
And I think we should also talk about this because this niche, this category leadership in one single category is like absolutely critical, because she is not a general doctor. She is a lactation consultant for pregnant mothers who are like mothers who want to have a second baby or something like that. So which is like a very, very niche product, and there are very few people in the entire country who do that. So she obviously more demand than supply, prices raised, money made. So that's simple. We had Amol Karale, who hit 5 lakhs in a week of launching. So with Amol, I think a lot of coaches will resonate. He had this level 1 product, but he was just not able to upsell. So good thing about Amol was he already built that distribution, but he also missed out a lot of people in his leads. So what I told him, bro, you just send an email to your entire list, whether they have bought you from or not. And we figured out what his second upsell would be. So we priced it at like 75,000, and he, like in the screenshot, you can see like
He made
13 calls booked.
5.25 lakhs in a single week.
Single week, yeah. So 13 calls booked, 7 closed, almost more than 50% conversion rates happened, right? So, which is something that I love. And exact same thing with Praveen, who is a AWS coach. He teaches people AWS and helps them with the career transition. With him, what happened was his webinars show up and conversions were like really, really low. So when he joined right around like October 26th ke baad he joined, you see after a month only he did a webinar. So in that 1 month we deployed a lead magnet, started a nurture sequence. Look at the conversion rate, 4% to 25% within like a month that happened.
Amazing. That's because he has already built trust with his leads. They are warmed up and they are like basically waiting to join his program.
Exactly.
So it feels very bad when somebody tries to launch something and they are not hitting the expected sales that they want
bombs,
to have.
it's like the worst thing ever, right?
The amount of anxiety that is there before the webinar and then it actually doesn't work, it feels very bad. So we don't want anyone who is an expert in their field to be in that position. And that's one of the reasons that we are teaching the same method that has worked for Digital Deepak.
Absolutely. Beautiful. So Deepak, let's talk about the different methods that experts now use to land clients. I mean, this is pretty much how it looks. Coaches, they run ad traffic to landing page, email, webinar, they sell a low ticket thing. And consultants, service providers, they depend on referrals or Upwork, Fiverr, meetings and close them. So what are your thoughts on this?
So again, the biggest problem with coaches is that they think that what they are creating as a course or a training program is a commodity. That people will look at it, if they want it, they will buy it. If they don't want it, they might not buy it. Yes, they add some level of sales pressure to it by adding scarcity, social proof. But one thing that they are missing is that they are not warming up the leads good enough. So earlier there used to be a time where a coach would run ads for a webinar that he is doing, which is like a workshop, provide some value in the webinar, and then by the end of the webinar, he would try to pitch a product and they will actually make a profit out of the sale. So if they had invested 1 lakh in Facebook ads, they would make 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs in sales. But those days are gone right now because first of all, everybody is doing free workshops or paid workshops like 99 rupee workshops and then trying to pitch a 10,000 rupee product.
And it's just so transparent, right? You see a 99 rupees workshop like, "Arey 15,000 aayega iske baad."
So they will it becomes too obvious. So when people know that they are getting sold to, there is a lot of sales resistance. So that can be eliminated by getting people onto your email list with a free lead magnet and then going ahead and nurturing them over time so that so much trust is built. And rather than you wanting these customers to join to make revenue, the customers want to join you because you are providing that transformation. And in a market where trust is very deficit, if you are a trustworthy guy, then the value of the trust is like very, very high.
Very, very high. I remember because we never did 99 rupees workshop. The primary reason of doing those will be like getting people who can spend. And when they come to the webinar, the conversion rates are high. Exactly. And at the best case, people make like 15, 10% conversion. With a free thing, with DDIP, it was 20% with us. Yeah. Right, just because people are nurtured enough.
If 500 people showed up on a webinar, 100 people will go ahead and subscribe for almost a 20,000 rupee product immediately, right off the bat. Yeah. And that happens because you have already built trust with these leads. And it's not like you have to wait for years to build trust with them. Just like 15 days to 30 days of nurturing, before asking for money, provide value first. Then you are automatically becoming the authority and the expert.
Even with consultants, service providers, I feel like the biggest challenge, if I had to talk about, it's like distribution. Yeah. People talk about, especially when it is service providers, they're like, I don't know how to get clients. So they go ahead and create a profile on Upwork, Fiverr, Just Dial, Sulekha, whatever. And they'll be like, okay, the platform will give me leads. But the problem with that is the platform controls these leads. Yeah. And they will never give you your leads and they can ban your accounts anytime. What will you do then? Same with the referral side. These are like very unscalable models to grow.
And unpredictable also.
The
best thing that you can do in your business is bring predictability to the business revenue. So right now we know that for the next year we will make this much revenue because we have a waiting list of customers waiting to join Alpha Club, right? So that way when you are building demand and building your own distribution, and by providing value to the leads that you already have, you are building the demand and the sales happen naturally without much of push. So whenever somebody like a coach or a consultant or a freelancer is depending on Facebook, LinkedIn, all these platforms to get customers, then they don't have the power. But in this day and age, it's easier to build your own distribution just by having an email list, having a community, and you can sell within the community. And the community is also great for creating like social proof.
And surprisingly, it worked for a lawyer, which is Nitish Banka, doctor, communication coach like Amol and Praveen, AWS, like far away from digital marketing.
And then we have
So,
fitness experts, yoga experts, we have chocolate making experts, and a lot of people think that, hey, this whole email marketing, digital marketing thing only works in the digital marketing niche where you are trying to sell digital marketing. It's the biggest misconception out there, because this can actually work much better in other areas. Like for example, Nitish Banka, being a Supreme Court lawyer, he adopted our strategy of building his personal brand, and his email open rates are like 60 to 80%, way more than industry standards of what we see. That's because in his particular market, nobody else is doing it. All right, so Jayant, you have been working with us for quite some time, and you have kind of imbibed all these learnings in the past 2-3 years. You were a geologist before, and from geology to digital marketing is a huge jump. And within this short period of time, how did you apply these methods, and what kind of results did you get out of applying these methods?
yes, absolutely. So of course, like my life was.
Oh wow, what are you doing here, man?
So I was a mining geologist. My job was to like go inside jungles and this quarries to find out rock samples and take them to the lab. So it was like a very hectic job. I would like start from 6 o'clock in the morning and come back by 8 o'clock in the evening. Nothing to eat in between. So I'll eat heavy breakfast, no lunch or whatever, then dinner. And lunch I would just sleep in the jungles that I would be going. It was like, I enjoyed that a lot because I was young and energetic. But then I was asking a lot of career questions like, did I make a good decision? Can I sustain this? And fortunately, I would say I lost my income in pandemic because I was fired. And that's when I joined EDIP. And so by the way, Alpha Club was earlier named a digital marketing club, and I was one of the first customers there. And my first advice was first advice that Deepak gave me, hey, build your list. So I started building my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn profile, and that's how I built this email list of like 2,000 subscribers. But fun thing I would say, because my email content was there and I kept on posting, it attracted a lot of brand attention. Till date, I see a lot of co-founders seeing my LinkedIn posts and everything. And I started building my personal brand. This is the advice that DD gave me, go interview experts. I started interviewing, and that actually gave me a lot of results. I interviewed Avi, then I asked for a job. I got a job there in his company. So a lot of companies approached me, and I also started working with these 8 companies so far in different niches. And just like you, after a while, I was like, you know what, let's just launch a course and see what happens. I had about 700-ish big email list back then. And I sold a course worth 30,000 rupees. I made about 14 lakhs, zero ad spend, pure profit. So this was what happened during.
And if you have a course and you want to sell it, you can't sell it without distribution. And if you have distribution, you understand their needs better, and automatically you will end up creating a course or some content or a community for them and sell it to them.
In fact, this was not even a course. This was like a live class. I was like, kar rahe hain, aa jao. And a lot of people joined in, and that's what built this money. And this is exactly what Nitish did. Raj did the same thing and landed like a 18 lakh project. So one of his previous client that kind of, he lost this deal. But with this personal branding, creating content and everything, this client came back saying that, oh, hey, you are providing a lot of value, let me in. So that's definitely what works. So Deepak, let's talk about how do you build a 7-figure consulting business, like a crore worth of business?
So the best way to get to like a crore worth of business a year is to build your personal brand, which means that you have to start creating your content, which gives you authority. And then you have to drive traffic to that content. And from there, you kind of build your own community. And then you have conversations with these people and then directly sell them something. It might look so simple, but the simplicity of it, a lot of people ignore. And obviously there are some complexities around it in terms of execution, but the overall framework is very simple. Build your personal brand, build traffic, build your community, start having conversations with these people, have appointments with them, and sell them what you have to sell them. As simple as that.
I want to know from you, what does it mean to build a personal brand to begin with?
So when you are building your personal brand, it doesn't mean that you need like 1 million people following or something. You just need to be seen as someone that people are looking up to within your small niche. Like for example, we have architect SSR in Alpha Club, and he does not have too many followers. He has like 4,900 followers, but he is very targeted within his niche and gives very, very clear, concise, actionable information for within his niche, and people look up to him, want to learn from him, and that helps him build a personal brand. Like you don't have a personal brand if you don't have a community around you. Just like there is no Buddha without a commune.
Yeah, yeah. There is no Buddha without the community around the Buddha. Yeah, makes sense. And I remember you talked about this, like personal branding is more about capturing the mind share as opposed to the market share.
Yes, so you need to be like having a category leadership within your category, and it can be your own small category. I might have started like 10 years back, so I have a category leadership within digital marketing itself, which is a very broad niche. But when you think about, anyone thinking about a particular thing, like if I ask you, men's razor blades, which is the number one company.
Gillette.
Yeah. So Gillette comes to mind immediately, right? And that comes to mind because that is the way that they have done the branding for themselves. So when it comes to digital marketing in India, Digital Deepak comes to mind. When I think about sales expert in India, Giant comes to mind. And for architect SSR, when people think about, hey, who can I learn from? How do you start a consultancy around architecture? He comes to mind. So when you capture the mind share of what people think of when they think of a particular category, then the market share will be eventually a result of it, right?
Exactly. So yeah, let's talk about how do you build around it, starting with the lead magnet that we create.
So a lead magnet is basically a piece of content, and a piece of valuable content that it is not given away for free, but you are not charging for the lead magnet either. There is a small cost to pay, which is trading the contact information. So you are basically giving an ethical bribe. And that's what I did with my free digital marketing course. I could have put my free course on YouTube as well, but I put it on a protected, gated community where people have to enter their name, email ID and phone number to enter that community and to access the content. So people are not paying you money yet, but people are paying you attention, and then they are going ahead and trading their contact information, which is also a form of payment, because you won't give your phone number, email ID and name to someone that you don't trust. So people are already putting the first step forward. And this format of collecting leads by giving away a lead magnet is what Alpha Club members have applied. For example, Supriya Jain, she is starting a content writer mentorship program, and she gave away a free 30-day email course on how to become a highly paid content writer.
But the beauty of this is also attracts the right kind of lead. For example, with Deepak Pani, not this Deepak. So he created a lead magnet called Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Spa Business. So it filters out right there. It doesn't attract real estate business. It doesn't attract coaches and consultants. It will attract either physiotherapists or spas.
Yeah. So it's basically like engagement-based segmentation. You are automatically just like, imagine you have like a bunch of sand. If you have played it around with sand when you were a kid, and you put a magnet on top of it, just the metal parts will get attracted to it, right? So similarly with a lead magnet, there are so many leads out there, so many people out there with so many different requirements. But if somebody wants to learn how to become a content writer, this particular lead magnet will only attract those people into your community. And then it becomes so targeted, and that is why it becomes so easy to sell to them later on.
Exactly. So yeah, and then second step is obviously drive traffic. So you can either run ads, which gives insanely low cost leads. The reason you can see it in the screenshot.
Yeah, I mean, for the 30-day free email course, 4 rupees per lead, and then you have 10 rupees per lead.
The Sanjit had 11 rupees per lead.
Yeah, so this happens because you are not selling them something directly. You are just going ahead and giving away some free content, and people will just come and opt in. And a lot of people think that, hey, these are low quality leads. No, they are not low quality leads, but they are not warmed up enough. They might be cold leads, not necessarily low quality. And if you have like, let's say 10,000 leads, you just need like, 1% conversion from 10,000 leads to, let's say you are selling something for like 50,000 rupees.
5 lakhs.
All right. And you are getting like 100 customers out of it. 50,000 is like 50 lakhs.
50 lakhs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you will make 50 lakhs out of 10,000 leads. And to generate 10,000 leads, even if you are paying like, let's say 10 rupees per lead, that's just 1 lakh in investment. Imagine 50x ROS you can possibly make just by going ahead and nurturing these people well enough before jumping into selling to them something, as soon as they come into your funnel.
also this phenomenon happens because people are 10, 20 times more likely to learn from you rather than buy from you. Because imagine there are lead generation landing pages also where like, hey, inquire now and all that. I mean, I never opt in for those. I'm sure pretty much you also never opt in for those. But when you have some resource, which let's say you are finding real estate and Godrej company sells, get the brochure. You'll never download that. But if I come and say, hey, here are 30 properties in Bangalore under this much budget with the best housing loan plans, you'll probably download that because that's a value, right? So yeah. Second, I would love to show our screenshot here because 15 rupees per lead in Google Ads Studio, like it's insane.
And that too for such a competitive keyword like learn digital marketing. And I have generated 773 leads and
7,73,000.
Yeah, 773,000 leads. Like when you tell it in that way, or 7,73,000 leads and 3.53 million clicks. Spent 1.2 crores on ads, and the lead cost is just 15 rupees. That's what made Digital Deepak, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody knows Digital Deepak because I have generated 2 million leads so far just for one lead magnet.
So Google Ads gave like some 7 lakh leads out of it.
Rest was from Facebook and rest was a few more different sources like organic and stuff.
Beautiful. Now, my favorite method also, like I don't know ads, so I do outreach. So I deployed the same system to do outreach, and the results have been like phenomenal. So with Harry, he talks about like 5 one-to-one calls bugged. Here we have Jitendra who just killed it with restaurant marketing. Harshvardhan. So normally you get about 1% reply rate with a direct response cold email, but with a lead magnet and which asks for a reply, Harshvardhan sent 75 emails and got like 10 replies. That's like more than 10% reply rate, like 10x the market standard. So this is what works. And of course, like I love this particular thing because Jitendra sent about 200 emails and 177 people opened his emails.
Oh wow,
which is
85% open rate.
I rarely see any such stats anywhere. Although like after reducing, discarding all the Apple users, they get like 31%. But because Apple has some issues with tracking, but at least bare minimum 60% open hai hai. But let's talk about the third step, which you're really, really good at, which is like building your community.
So when you are building a community, it's not like you create a forum, people come in and they start the conversations automatically. When you have a small community and when you are going ahead and activating the community, you have to primarily be the person who is leading the community. So you have to start the conversations, you have to provide the content. But seeding the community with a little bit of content is more than enough to get some people activated and they will start creating themselves. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need like a community software to go ahead and build your community and maybe build your own app or anything like that. It can be as simple as a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, right? And once you put people into a community who have similar goals, then it kind of starts creating some kind of energy within, itself. And this particular energy, kind of helps a lot of people within the community even before you sell something to them or even before you start adding value. And since people have such a high level of respect for you for creating this community and curating these people into the community, they will become fans of you automatically. And whatever you sell automatically sells because they are looking up to you because there is energy within this community, right? That energy is what you are tapping into.
One beautiful thing that because it's a community in which all your customers are already there, you don't have to look for customers outside. So what happened recently, yesterday I was in a call with Saptadeep. His Google My Business account got banned. Okay. Not banned, but suspended. But he was still not going in a frenzy. He was like, oh, I have my Facebook group. I can just reach out. So normally people get freaked out if their primary source of leads is that Google My Business account and suddenly like it just vanishes because again, Google controls the platform. You don't. But since he has a Facebook group, he doesn't have to worry about it. He can simply prospect, find these people, get them in a call and do it. So that brings me to our fourth step, which is like launching or consulting. And this is kind of my area of expertise, so I'll just talk a little bit about it. So once these people are nurtured, what we do is we send something called as an ask campaign. We simply present them with our offer. We create a video message, probably like this. We're creating one. We ask our people to create a video message which explains their offer in a very nice and detailed way, showing that this is what you get, this is what I'm going to offer. But we don't take applications directly. So what these people, our Alpha Club members, do is they get all these leads and they filter out the right kind of people that they can help the most. And once this happens, sales become natural because it's like easy now, because like you are talking to the right customer among like all the community members. So let's say you have about 1,000 people in your community, out of which let's say 100 people show interest, and let's say out of 100 people who showed interest, some 50 people are qualified. Out of those 50 people, even if you close like 10 deals, which is like 20% conversion, global average, at let's say 50,000, you make 5 lakhs right there. That's exactly what Amol did, who earned like 5 lakhs in a week. These are his exact number, by the way. So yeah, step 5, of course, is start selling. But again, I'm a strong believer of the fact that you should not need a very good sales team to start selling. If you absolutely need the best closers in the world for your business to grow up, then you're not doing your marketing right. And right now, I'll be very honest, we don't have the best team in the world. Yet our conversion rates, and I was talking to a sales coach, and they are running only a sales company where they are specialized on closing deals. Their best conversion rate is 22%. Me with barely a year of experience, I close at 37%.
1%, which means like 1 in 3 sales calls is actually converting into a sale.
My interns who she recently hired, these interns close at like 20%, which is at par with the best sales company out there. The reason why this is happening is because Deepak did all the previous steps very efficiently. And that trust boosts everything. Your reputation, your sales conversions and everything. But we don't sell like every other salesman, like showing a PPT or anything. The way we do it is it's more of a consultative selling, where you don't go to a doctor and he sees your face and like starts a PPT, right? A doctor actually asks, where is your pain? Why is this pain a pain? What have you done to solve this pain? And then after analyzing all the variables, he said like, you know what? You don't need a big surgery, you need this. And then you take that offer. The way we sell is also exactly the same. We don't push our customers, rather we give them a solution. And this is exactly what we teach. And here are the results. Supriya, again, she is the one. She got into 7 calls, out of which 4 said yes and 3 have paid. So again, 3
That's
paid.
like 50% almost.
50%.
Conversion.
And
Yeah.
she's charging, I think, 30 plus GST. So almost, and 1 lakh within a week she has like recovered. Daksh closed $1,000 per month deal with outreach. And like, I love this message that he sent. Like, now we can travel the world and not worry about our next clients. Yesterday I was on a call with him, by the way. He told like he is traveling somewhere abroad, and he's collaborating with an agency that loved his cold outreach. And he's like, hey, you do this for my clients also, whatever you do. So he is giving them deals nowadays. So you see, like, giving value never goes for waste. Amit closes a 18 lakh client. It's a South African client they are getting some 30,000 rands, which closely like 1.5 lakhs a month is what they are getting. So this is the beauty of the sales process, that, you know, nobody takes it offensively because it is like so smooth, right? Same Varun, I love his case study because he closed like multiple 1 lakh deals. So he has a coaching and consulting, both priced at like 1 lakh. Here, I love it because like with his money, that he earned, he bought a car for his parent. He told me like, I bought this Tata ka some punch he bought, right? And no loans whatsoever, whatever he earned, he bought a car for his parent. I was like so proud of this guy, because when he joined, he was barely making like 1 lakh a month in revenue. Now imagine like buying a car just like that. Le lete hain.
Amazing, amazing.
So yeah, Ekta lands HubSpot as a client. And a lot of these freelancers complain that, hey, all these big companies will not reply back. She has like barely 6 months of experience. She's a 21-year-old kid. She lands HubSpot as a client. I mean, crazy it is. And all this happens because all of these people approach with value first, as opposed to like
Just asking for a sale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most people do that. We don't do that here. Ahan Iqbal, one of his biggest sale made in Jan. I remember when he came to the call, he told me, my target is to get 10K per month or 15K per month. But Jan he hit 20K per month. So like, khatam. So this is what...
Success stories left, right and center.
Left, right and center. So yeah, there's that. But does it really stop here? No. I'm handing over the stage to Deepak to talk more about how do you build that reputation here? So, Deepak, let's talk about the delivery system that you have organized, because I know for a fact that acquisition is like the easiest thing to solve in any business. But if fulfillment breaks, that's like a nightmare. So, what should somebody do to, ensure that they have great reputation in the market and a great fulfillment?
So when you do all your personal branding right, marketing funnels right, sales right, getting customers is not going to be a problem. But a lot of people get customers, but they don't onboard them properly. They just take the money and then the customer is like, what next? So onboarding is very important. Obviously, you also need to provide the service and provide a good service, whether it's a product or a service. Product also does a service for them. So you have to deliver what they bought in for. But you also need to make sure that they use it and get results from it, which is transformation. And all this will build your reputation in the market, because people will go out and say that, hey, this was awesome. This transformed me. I got all this value from it. And then from reputation, you are going to retention, which is basically the customers coming back to you over and over again and wanting to stay, in your funnel and continue to buy from you because you have delivered such a good transformation for them. So without this, you cannot really grow, because if you destroy your reputation, the personal branding that you are doing to build trust is of no use, because all the trust that you are building eventually will be taken away with a few negative reviews.
Exactly. Retention, I feel, is like the most crucial part, because we do all this marketing, sales, whatever to get people on board, just so that we don't need to get more people like that. If the existing people keep on renewing, that's when you make the most money, because now there is no marketing cost, acquisition cost on top of it, right? And the only way to build retention is obviously do a great onboarding, give a good service, transform people. And it's easier said than done. You need to build systems, processes, hire the right people, and then obviously give them the right transformation. But this is an overall process. So yeah, let's just summarize what we have.
So distribution is king. You have to build your own distribution. The easiest way to do it is by giving a lead magnet and generating leads from it. And then you are going to go ahead and build a business around your personal brand. So you have to position yourself as an expert in your field and let people know that you are there and you are an expert. So the best known will always beat the best. And you avoid competition, because within your niche, you have built trust within the community. So the community does not want to go anywhere else and buy from someone else, because let's say known devils are better than unknown angels, right? People will be like, oh, I know this guy. I've heard from this guy. He has a good reputation in the market. Let me go buy from him, because the results are going to be predictable. And then you have to sell one-on-one before trying to scale it, because only when you try to go ahead and have conversations with people, you will understand where they are, what they need, and you will remove all the blind spots that is there in the market when you view your own market. You don't know what you don't know. So you need to talk to people.
Exactly.
And you can scale
this is the entire client acquisition formula. Hire people, then go ahead and serve them, that increase reputation, retention.
Once you have figured out your niche, built your own distribution, you have built your personal brand, you have built your community, and then you know how to sell one-on-one and scale, then you can go to the next level of scale and 10x it from there again.
Exactly. Now, at the end of this training, we have pretty much covered everything. Either you can go ahead and do it alone. However, there's slow, time consuming. You'll probably have to do a lot of trials and errors. Stay stuck in minute details, whether I should do it in Facebook or WhatsApp or Telegram, all of this stuff. And obviously, there is an additional cost to learn business development, hiring, developing your funnel, marketing, whatever. The other option is how we can help you, or we can sit with you and help you craft your entire funnel and this entire system, is let's do it together. One, this saves your time. You do it right the first time. You get all our SOPs and everything. And you save a lot of money in opportunity or learning cost. You don't have to go out there and learn everything from scratch. You have everything built in. You just deploy the systems. And you use all our internal systems to use it in your business. Have that security, consistency, and that predictability of leads and sales coming in without depending on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Facebook, Google, whatever, right? And how does it work? The way it works is like all this that we have structured, we help people in our coaching program, in our consulting and mastermind, we help people navigate this entire process through these 6 steps. As soon as people come in, the very first week, they craft their positioning, their offer, take it to the market. Second, they craft the lead magnets, the community, drive traffic. But initially, we encourage people to drive traffic through outreach without spending money on ads and prove that this model or this offer has a demand in the market. Once you prove the demand, you can just go ahead and, which is like step 5, start reinvesting into ads and then start hiring, delivering, and add more fuel to your personal brand. So all in all, this takes about 6 months of dedicated work to see like fantastic results. And this is what we do. Now, for viewers who are watching us, and if you want to scale it to like 10 lakhs per month, we can talk. Over the next 5 days, we have opened up our calendar and we have our team, our consultants ready to talk to you and see if we can help you craft your game plan. And very clearly in this call, we'll be sitting on a Zoom or Google Meet. We'll understand your current situation. We'll review your business, spy on your competitors, and figure out what are the lacunas that you might be having so that are stopping you from growing. And if our service can help you, we'll create a custom strategy plan in the call itself, regardless of whether you want to go with or not.
Yeah. So this is a completely no obligation call. This is not a sales call. This is more of a business strategy session. And people have got so much value out of these calls that we are doing.
Exactly.
And this is completely free.
Exactly. Completely free. And who is this service for? Again, I want to be like very blunt and honest. I don't want to say like this works for everyone out there. This is primarily for coaches, consultants, advisors, experts, or professional service providers, or information product sellers, course sellers, all these people. It's also for people who are into high value product selling, which requires a lot of customer education, where they need to talk to customers. And if you want to get it done with you to a minimum of, let's say, up to 10 lakhs per month, then this is probably the right fit for you. And you should be like clicking on the button and booking a call and talking with us. Alternatively, I also want to make it clear, who are we not for? Well, this is not for brand new beginners who have absolutely no clue what to sell. We can't launch your business. We can only add more fuel to the fire, not start a new fire. I hope I'm like, okay. This is also not for people who are afraid to make a decision, take action, or who are like attracted to like every shiny objects. If you are somebody like that, who's like, iska course le lete hain, uska course le lete hain, this is again not for you. And or anyone not serious to grow their business. And it is also not suited for low ticket items like e-commerce or clothes, candles, all of this. Pretty much products with lower customer lifetime value, because then your profits are low, and no matter how much customer education you give, the fundamentals of the business will be broken, right? So I hope I'm clear. Didi, anything you want to add?
Yeah, this seems to be perfect. And I think most of the people watching this video will be anyway freelancers, consultants, and agency owners and trainers. And I think this makes it clear who this is for.
Who is this not for?
And this is not for. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and if you can agree to all that and this sounds like an opportunity, and then which it is, you can simply click on the button and book a call with us. And it's simply about finding out if you are a good fit for the system, if we can help you the best or not. And if you are interested, we can also talk about the investment that is required to get started. Right? If not, we'll not reveal anything. We'll give you the custom action plan regardless of whether you want to take us or not. So yeah, go ahead and book the call and let's start talking. Deepak, any last words?
So yeah, man, I think this was a very valuable discussion, especially for the people who are looking to build their personal brand and increase the demand that they have for their business. And really excited to, talk to all the people who are watching this video, who wants to book a call with us and eventually see how we can help their business scale.